Morning. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a nice Valentine's Day yesterday. That if you were feeling the need for loving sweetness in your life, that you were able to conjure it, attract it, create it, or share it with others. I hope that everybody's rested after the weekend. And I had a really busy weekend. I was going to come do Tara practice on Saturday, and instead, my husband and I were fixing the heater, so I was not able to go and do that. But I think that all of the mechanical upsets are on their way out. There's been so many. This past week was really intense with mechanical Mercury retrograde. And I'll be quite glad to see this retrograde behind us. How about you? Oh, hi, Cecilia, coming from Chile. How are you, sister? Hi, Yvonne. I see some folks coming in. Okay, good. Well, I have some really exciting news. Guess what came in? The Stephen Karcher book. Remember I was telling you, so we've been working with the Guanyin poems in this book, Guanyin, Myths and Prophecies of the Chinese Goddess of Compassion by Martin Palmer and Jay Ramsey, with translations provided by Manho Kwok. And then we have the Guanyin Temple Oracle by Marina Lighthouse, with translations provided by Dr. Chris Wen Chao Lee. So this book is the Stephen Karcher book, Stephen Karcher has been studying Chinese language and divination and mythology for over 30 years. Actually, at this point, over 50 years, because this book says 30 years and was published in 2001. So this book, I'm so happy to report, has something that we haven't had so far, which are the traditional predictions associated with each of the poems. Hi, Mary Beth. Happy Monday. So what it'll show here in this translation is not only the poem, but then it also shows like what are the traditional interpretations about things like business, children, conflicts, wealth, family, that we have not seen. These are like the aggregated divination meanings that we have not had yet in these other two books. So I'm really excited to share this divination with you today. But we're going to begin with our form of Guanyin for today. And on Friday, we were with Guanyin of fearlessness. Today, Guanyin of the sutras. And look, she is holding a staff topped with a skull, representing impermanence and transformation. And in her other hand, she holds a scroll that contains the sutra texts. So let me share this beautiful art with you so that you can see it. And here. Okay. So the key word for this form of Guanyin is impermanence. So the skull that Guanyin carries is part of her mortal remains from the lifetime in which she was the wife of Malang. It is a reminder of the ephemeral nature of mundane life, that it was only her physical form that died. By following the spiritual practice symbolized by the sutra texts and by practicing devotion, we may connect with eternity. The sacred sutras can positively affect our spirits over a period of many lifetimes. According to Chinese legend, during the Tang Dynasty, there was a beautiful young woman who wanted to marry a man who could recite by heart the Lotus Sutra's chapter about Avalokiteshvara, that's Guan Yin. Several candidates mastered this test. The young woman then asked to hear the complete Lotus Sutra and gave her suitors just 3 days to memorize it. A young man called Malang fulfilled her wish and became her bridegroom. But on her wedding night, she fell sick and died. Some time later, a monk appeared and asked to have her coffin opened. Inside her coffin were bones made of pure gold, the sign of a holy being. Wow, that's a really deep story. The contemplation of this form of Guan Yin. Invoke Guan Yin of the sutras. Ask her to provide you with deeper insights into the dual powers of impermanence and eternity. Ask her for support when you want to learn a new prayer or discover a new spiritual text or memorize something by heart. Yes, this book that we're reading from, Cecilia's Asked, is by Daniela Schenker, and it's called Guan Yin, Accessing the Power of the Divine Feminine. And it's a very sweet and simple book. It's not super thick, but it's just packed with beauty and art and digestible translations and little quotes and things like that. Really recommend this book. Very characteristic cover. Let me make sure you can see it. Oh, you can't. Oh, there we go. Okay. You can't miss it once you know what you're looking for. Here we are. Let me turn it so that you can see what it looks like there. Okay. So, Guan Yin of the Sutras. We're invited today to contemplate sutras, to potentially memorize quotes or bits of ritual, sadhanas, or sutras, holy texts, and to look into the nature of impermanence, how teachings will last generation after generation after generation, but one lifetime is all we've got in this body. So good in this body to make the pursuit of the divine and devotion a centerpiece of one's being. And today we fall on number 76. Have we had this one before? I don't know, we haven't. The lovers, how appropriate for yesterday. A fish and a dragon in a river thought, we'll live together. They hid deep in the depths, waiting for their time, staying out of trouble. One morning they'll escape, and they'll leap the gate in one, into the palace of ecstasy. So that's the Man Ho Kwok translation. Now, the Chris Wen Chao Li translation, poem 76. Saints and sinners huddle in a bunker, silently waiting for the storm to pass. Then, one clear morning, heads resurface, and you rise to the top, to the highest brass. And in a reading, the meaning of this poem is, you have the means and the talent, but don't move prematurely. Bide your time. Your moment will come. And the imagery of fish and reptiles mingling in an underwater cavern, waiting for the right moment to surface. And finally, poem 76, the right opportunity. One day, opportunity will offer itself. You will spring through the dragon door in one bound. Wait for that opportunity. and you will fight your way free. Put things to the proof. Submit to the ordeal. Separate wheat from chaff by divination. This is the time of the seed and the hidden pearl. Rely on the ancestors' wisdom. What can and cannot happen. Oh, and then there's the guidance. Find the hidden treasure. This is the time to put everything to the test, to sort out the real from the useless. And here's what can and cannot happen with this divination. You can't wish for better in your household. Everyone is happy and in good health. You must be patient until success comes in business. You can count on very significant profits coming. Find your hidden reserves of creative energy. If you wish to begin a significant relationship, your wishes will come true if you are not impatient. Delay your desires for now. If you want an heir, you will soon have one. Don't go to court. A trial would last a long time without a judgment and would cost more than you expected. Change your home if you want to, but it will bring you no real advantage. So rich. I'm so glad we have this book. Thank you, Stephen Karcher. He's generally acknowledged as one of the world's experts on psychological and spiritual uses of divination. And he has just done a tremendous amount of study in this area. So I really love his addition to our translation stack. And it seems like the imagery we're working with is the dragon that waits in its cave and bides its time before taking its flight. It seems like this is a time of acknowledging all the wealth that we already have in our lives. It could be the wealth of our spirit, the wealth of love, the wealth of friends, the wealth of family, the wealth of, connection to our path, whatever wealth we have already in our lives. This divination is all about that. And it's saying to hold that in appreciation and not to strive for more just yet, not to aim higher just now, because the next steps in our path will be bounded by destiny, not so much by our agenda or timeline. So let's just be patient and deliberate, and let's move gently in the direction of our goals and dreams without forcing. And let's just know that whatever it is that we've been looking for or wanting or seeking, it's coming in time. It will arrive in its proper moment. Okay, so that's our divination for today, if that's what you were here for. Thanks for coming. And now let's dive into our practice. We'll begin with 3 prostrations before our shrine. And look, Albert brought me flowers. So he put them here for me so the cats won't eat them. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the Great Mother of Compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. We're holding still Mary Beth's daughter, who's recovering from COVID. Jane, who was transferred into hospice over the weekend. Heidi, who has left one residential facility and moved into another one as she is coming to the end of her days. And anyone else who needs it today. And let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. And let's make our offerings. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering for Guan Xiyin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Ooh. Looks like our candle got a little went out. There's some herbs in it. Let's see if I can. Here we go. See if that helps. Omahum. 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 Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guan Yin, remain until the end of samsaric existence, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa. Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. 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 Patience is really not easy to cultivate when you feel like you've already been waiting for something or you can't see the path clearly. And to really learn to be like that dragon in the cave, guarding the treasure of our own lives and our own knowledge and all that we've learned is not as easy as it sounds. It sounds like it would be relaxing, but actually, it can be a little bit stressful. And so, when we are kind of incubating a dream, vision, or goal, or we have an idea that we wish would come to pass, but we can't see the path clearly, we can feel agitated or we can feel anxious. Instead, let's today really work on cultivating that patience and saying, what's meant for me will be for me. What's meant for this world will be for this world. However it unfolds is perfection. I trust the perfection. I trust the process. And I trust myself. And then from there, allow. Just allow. Let's try it. 108 recitations now of Om Mani Padme Hum as we contemplate how we can call upon that internal patience that we carry and let it rise into every fiber of our being so that we won't become overly hungry or desirous or grasping. And instead, we can abide in peace and allow what's meant to be to arise in front of us in a way that we can't possibly mistake it. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechin Yeshe Wangmo. Om Sosti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Chungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of Supreme Bliss Yeshe Wangmo be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin in our hearts. Namo Guanxin Pusa. And we close with a bow to Guanyin, bow to one another, and bow to the inner teacher. And thank you for joining me today, and wishing everyone a day of patient and harmonious abiding as all that is meant for you begins to flock its way toward you, and that you see it coming, perceive it, receive it in the best way possible. I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you drop your counts in the comments. Okay, bye.